Welcome back everyone to this final video of Mockvita solution series. In this video we are going to solve lifeguard problem. This is the last question in our video tutorial, and firstly we'll read that problem description. We'll try to understand this, and after that we'll analyze this question on how to solve this. And at first it might seem a little bit difficult because this question is even more lengthy than the past ones. But I can assure you that once we are done with this question, you can easily code it. All right, so let's move on to this problem description. A lifeguard is sitting on a beach. He suddenly notices a person who is drowning. He runs to the sea with the speed of f into v. One thing to note here: his speed on the uh, wait his yes his speed on the beach is f into v, and his speed in the in that sea is v. All right, now he wants to minimize the time taken to get to that person. Since the bodyguard runs faster, it will save some more time to run a longer distance rather than go on going and thus swimming a long distance. Okay, now let's for just once assume that his speed on the beach is f into v and his speed in this water is v. All right, if for once the value of f is equal to 1, then we can assume that the shortest path will be that perpendicular path from lifeguard to the drowning path, the shortest distance that connects both of them, that will be our answer. However, if his speed in water is slow, then we can we can minimize our time by running more on the sand and swimming less, because swimming is slow for us, whereas running is fast for us. It will completely uh, you know it will completely derive on that multiplying factor. Okay, so these are all the condition assumptions that we have been provided with. We will be given provided with coordinates with where the lifeguard is, and this value will be in the form of x and y. Since we have to solve this form, uh, the we have been provided the beach is in the first quadrant and the ocean is in the fourth quadrant, and the value in the first quadrant is always x comma y, and the value in fourth quadrant will be x comma minus y. Great. All right, anything else that they have told us? All calculation must be done up to 6 decimal points. Okay, we'll do that. And the value of f will vary from 1 to 15. Okay, great. Now we have the inputs. We will give provided with 4 inputs, that will be the coordinates x and y of where the lifeguard is, x and y of the drowning person, and f is the multiplying factor in which with which the speed will vary of his on sand and that sea. Okay, we have to provide output must be a single number x optimized as a description above. The output must have accuracy to 6 decimal places. Okay, now what should our output be? We are going to provide them with this optimized spot. What do you mean by optimized spot? That spot, from which to which if a lifeguard runs, and from which point if he starts swimming, then he can minimize the distance. So we have to find such a spot which he will encounter on this x line, and if he moves on through that spot, then he will minimize the time. Okay, now for a better understanding, let's move on to a little bit of more graphical part. Okay, now we'll try to understand that question a little bit more pictorially. All right, so suppose we have two coordinates. I am going to be mentioning these coordinates so randomly, so please don't start measuring scales. Let's assume that the coordinates of this point is 2 comma 1, and the coordinates of this point is 1 comma minus 1. All right, since we have to provide the output in the optimized export, let's connect it to the x-axis, both of these points. All right, now what will be the coordinates of these points where these dots are connecting to the x-axis? These will be 2 comma 0, and they will be 1 comma 0. Once you understand this question, the coding part is really very simple, so please try to focus here. Okay, now we know that our answer is going to lie between these two coordinates. Our optimized export is going to lie between 1 comma 0 to 2 comma 0, both of them included. Okay, why? Because suppose even if the f, the multiplying factor is 15, even if he runs 15 times faster on sand than on water, then what that lifeguard will do, he'll run to this part, this 1 comma 0, and after that he'll run to this point where that person is drowning. Why? Because this path, this is the perpendicular path, and this is the shortest path from which he can reach to him via water from sand. All right, he's not gonna run, the complete beach, even if he runs 15 times faster just to reach that point. He'll run, since we want to minimize that, we know that he will run to this the farthest spot that he can run is to this 1 comma 0, and after that he'll swim to this point. All right, 1 comma minus 1. So we know that our answer is going to lie between 1 comma 0 and 2 comma 0. And right now, suppose uh, I've already stated that if the value of f is 15, then he'll go from this part, and if the value of f is equal to 1, what he'll do, he'll go from this point to directly this point. Why? Since f is 1, which means his speed on both sand and water is same, so if he just directly move from one point to another point, that will be the shortest path. All right, and right now, even though our answer is not in this part, by the way, what will be the coordinate of this point? It will be 1.5 comma 0. Okay, right now, even though our coordinate is not going to lie in this form, we will search the value from 1 comma 0 to 2 comma 0. I'll tell you why. Because suppose if the value right now the coordinate is 1 comma minus 1, but what if the coordinate was 4 comma minus 1? Then the tables will turn. All right, so just to avoid that sort of confusion, just to make an answer, a generic answer that will run on all our cases, we will try to search from 1 comma 0 to 2 comma 0. And what we are gonna do is that we'll be using a combination of binary search and ternary search. We won't be using linear search. Why? Because the answer is up to 6 decimal places, so 6 decimal places may increase, may get to time limit exceeded a lot. All right, now, so what we are going to do is, how this is combination with ternary, we are going to make two of our midpoints. One midpoint will be here and one midpoint will be here. Why are we going to make two? I'll just get you on that, just give me a sec. The value of this coordinate will be 1.25 comma 0. For now, let's just say that this is mid 1, and the value of this coordinate will be 1.75 comma 0. Okay, so let's say that this is lower, 1 comma 0 is lower, and 2 comma 0 is upper. I'll just write, for better understanding, so just you don't get confused. These are the bounds from where we have to check. We know that our answer will lie in between these points. Okay, so right now 1 comma 0s are lower and 2 comma 0s are upper. Great. So I'll be using these two mid values, 1.25 and 1.75. Now what will I do with them? I'll calculate my time when I move from this point to water. Suppose my time is t1. I can easily calculate that with the help of a little bit of quant and a little bit of graph knowledge. We will see that later how to calculate it. Okay, so suppose we have calculated the time, and that is t1 for this point 1.25, and now we'll calculate the time for 1.75, and let's assume that time is t2. Okay, now we'll check which one of them is greater. If t2 is greater than t1, if this right now I've said that the time that this point will consume is t2, and the time that this point will consume is t1. So if t1 is greater, sorry, t2 is greater than t1, then what I'm going to do is I'll just shift my upper from 2 comma 0 to 1.5 comma 0. Now I have halved my options. All right, now I don't have to check between 1.5 to 2.20. Now this was the reason why I said that we'll just measure this completely. Instead of avoiding this half, we'll just measure this, because it will only take one iteration and we'll be avoiding a heck lot of confusion. All right, so this is what we are going to do. We'll check that if t2 is greater than t1. Yes, t2 is greater than t1, it will be definitely. So we'll move this upper from this point to this point. Now our upper will lie here. All right, now again we'll make this t1 our mid, and now we'll again generate 2 points which will calculate our paths, and again we'll generate t1 and t2. Again we'll calculate them, and we'll do this repetitively until or unless lower or upper meets at some point. You know, let's maybe lower and upper meet at this point, then this point is going to be our answer. But and I believe since this is sort of a binary search, so our complexity will be log n, our answer will be shorted a lot of time. All right, so this was sort of an understanding. I hope you have cleared. Just I'll just give you a revision time. So we know that our answer is going to lie between this lower bound and upper bound. Now we have to search our answer. We'll try to find a time for optimized spot, and we'll try to find that if there is a minimum value possible or not. Okay, how are we going to do that? We'll take 2 points T1 and T2 with the help of a mid value. Okay, now we'll check if T1 whichever one of them is greater, because right now you can see that T1 is, if I consider T1, that T1 is denoting all these parts. T1 is basically calculating the time of this part, and the T2 is calculating the part of this part, time of this part. Okay, so if by any chance T1 is greater, then T2 is greater, then our answer will lie in T1 region. And if our if T2 is smaller, then our answer will lie in T2 region. Once we have calculated which one of them is smaller, we'll move our upper or lower conditionally, and after that we are basically catching our optimized spot from 2 points, and at one point, at somewhere our upper or lower will definitely meet, and when they meet, that point is our answer. Okay, now let's move on to the coding part. That is really going to be simple. All right, so now we are going to start the coding part. Don't get distracted. This is the last part, and this is really easy. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll just take inputs. We have been provided with 5 inputs. I am taking it in float. I am, by the way, doing this in Python. Why I'm taking it float, because if I taken it int, my answer will definitely not come correct, because we have to find up to 6 decimal places. So x1, and after that I'll calculate x2. Okay, sorry, the input is in form of x1 y1 and x2 y2. Okay, I'll just copy this instead of writing it again and again. I have calculated x2, I've calculated y2, and then I need to calculate my f. Done. Now we have taken our input. Now we need to calculate our uh, lower bound and our upper bound, that we can easily found with whichever one is minimum or maximum of both x1 and x2. Lower bound will be minimum, so whichever one is minimum of both x1 and x2, and upper bound will be maximum, m1 comma m2. Sorry, why I'm writing m1, x2 comma x1. Okay, now we'll start our while loop. While, since we have to round up our decimal places, so I'll just use round function. You might have similar functions in other languages, like I believe Java also has a round function, and similar functions are available in C++. Okay, till it is less than upper comma 6. Okay, great. Now we will calculate our mid. Mid will be equal to lower plus upper divided by 2.0. Okay, now our upper mid will be equal to, since it's a upper mid, let's just make it mid plus upper divided by 2.0, and lower mid will be equal to mid plus lower divided by 2.0. Okay, now we have to calculate distance. Since we have our upper mid and lower mid, let's just first calculate lower time, which means that shaded area that I calculated. I'll just calculate the time for that. And how am I going to calculate? It will be the part. Firstly, I'll calculate the part for sand, and that will be x1 y1 till he's running from x1 y1 till that lower mid coordinate, that 1.25, he's running from 2 to 1.25. So and since it's on x-axis, lower mid comma 0. Okay, this is the part that he runs on sand. So let's assume that if the speed is v for both sand and water, we'll subtract that. So additional speed will be that f, the multiplying factor. So we'll divide it with f. since we are calculating time right now, we have calculated distance. I'll make a function for distance. So distance divided by velocity will give me first t1, that first time period when he's running on the sand. This is basically the the calculation part of sand, and then I'll calculate the distance between from that point, optimized point, let's assume it's an optimized point, till the point where he's drowning. So the first part is from where the lifeguard was till the optimized point, and the second part is from the optimized point to the point where that person is drowning. Okay, and this will be equal to lower mid comma 0, that is 1.25 comma 0. Please try to remember till 1 comma minus 1. Okay, and that will be x2 comma y2. I hope you understand this. This will give me one of the time, and I'll do the similar for upper time. The only thing that will change is instead of lower mid we'll have an upper mid. Okay, all right, great. Now we need to check which one of the value is greater, lower time or upper time, which value is greater. Now if the value of upper time is greater than lower time, then what we will do, we will simply make the upper bound okay. I have written upper everywhere, so just let's remove this bound from here. Okay, so then upper will be equal to mid. Almost half of our portion will be covered in just one iteration, and if that is not the case, then lower should be equal to mid. Okay, all right, so this is our complete code, and after that we'll just print since this loop will only stop when upper will be equal to lower, so let's just print our upper or lower, whichever ones, and we'll round it up till 6 decimal places. Great. By the way, we haven't created a function distance. Okay, we'll do that. For that, I'll need to import math. I hope we know how to calculate distance between two coordinates. We have done a similar type of question in collision course, but we'll repeat again. I'll just create my function distance with four coordinates x1 comma y1 comma x2 comma y2. Okay, and we'll return what the value is math dot sqrt, and this will be equal to x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1. I hope you know this, how to calculate distance between two points. If the coordinates are x1 and y1 and x2 and y2, we can simply calculate them with the formula of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square to the power of 1 by 2. Okay, so that's what we have simply done here, and with the help of this we have calculated a distance. And let me just cross check it again, and I think this will do the trick. Okay, let's just try to run. By the way, let me just copy the test case. Okay, we have been provided with a test case. Luckily no error. Okay, let's run 1.0, and what is the answer? Okay, the answer is 1.00000. I need to format it. I don't know. Oh, okay, so round will only it will just round up my value. If I need to do my precision formatting, and for that what I need to do is I'll just why not, okay, so I'll just use my format function. Okay, with the help of format I may be able to do this, and since I'm using Python, I'll use 0.2 a format of 0. Wait a second, how to do that? Instead of this I'll just okay 0.6, and I'll format my upper value, since if they have specifically mentioned this point. Otherwise I might even pass all the test case, but I will get a presentation error. Okay, so what were the coordinates? 1 1 1 minus 1 1.2. Great, 1.000. Perfect, done. So this was how we were supposed to print it. Now, let's just test our own, that question that we created. It will be, suppose the coordinates are 2 and 1, and other coordinate was 1 and -1, and let's suppose the speed is 1, so our answer should come between 1.5 something, and that is the correct answer, 1.5. So our code is working correctly, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please, you can ask them in comment section, and thank you for watching this video.